Fairhaven Centered Collaboration, and we like to start, proceed, and end on time to honor the agenda. You can join via Zoom any month that you're unable to join us in person. Just want to go through a quick brief introduction with the Zoom instructions regarding muting microphones and sorry about that. Sorry, apologies about that. We want to make sure we mute the microphones when others are not speaking. You can use the chat box as well. And we did start the recording. If you do not wish to be live on the recording, you can simply turn your camera off. We'll call the meeting to order officially through the roll call of the board and move it from there. Lee?
Present.
Liz? Present. Abby? No? Adam?
Present.
Ian?
Present.
And myself. All right. Pardon. Thank you. All right. So have we established quorum yet, or you're saying it's still not there yet?
We have not hit it yet. So I'm as a couple people are still trickling in, but we're probably, I think, 4 voting members shy right now. So we'll see.
Yeah. All right. So just wanted to quickly, before we move forward with the items on our agenda, I just want to make sure there was nothing that needed to be clarified on last month's agenda, so we can go ahead and get that approved for the meeting minutes.
We can't approve without quorum, unfortunately.
That's right. I'm sorry. Okay, so we'll get back to that. Later on, we got 2 people. They have the sign.
Okay, I didn't know what you.
Yeah, I can do that and to the notes on top of it. All right, we'll come back to that. So moving forward, we'll do the financial report with our treasurer Gina.
There were no expenditures for the month of May. No, we're in July, month of June. For the month of June, so the balance continues to be $4,064.88.
All right, thank you so much, Gina. Next up, we have Lieutenant Plumiani joining us via Zoom with New Haven Police Department with his report. Go ahead, Lieutenant Plumiani.
Good evening, everyone. I'll keep my report brief because it's been a pretty good month in Fairhaven. For the month of June, we were looking at so far this year a 45% reduction in violent crime, which is fantastic. The concerns, I would say, as far as trends are concerned, we see an increase of stolen cars over the month, with a total of about 17 stolen cars in Fairhaven this month. Some other districts are seeing 25 or 30. And so we continue to see the same nationwide trend with Kias and Hyundais, and also the U-Haul is a significant change to our stats where stolen vehicles are concerned, because every time that a U-Haul, anyone who rents a U-Haul in the area, when they don't return that U-Haul at 2 weeks, U-Haul will report that out as stolen. And so I'd say about 4 of the 15 are those. And then there's probably about another 8 to 10 that are the Kias and Hyundais. And so if you have a Kia or a Hyundai and you are within the timeline of vehicles that are able to be stolen with whatever this trend is that they have going on, that they're stealing the Kias and Hyundais, we do have some steering wheel locks still available at the front desk of the police department. So you just go to 1 Union Avenue with an ID that says that you live in New Haven with the registration for your vehicle, and we'll provide you with a steering wheel lock. We had a couple before, we ran out of them, but now we're back up to a bunch that were sent to us by the manufacturers. We have 2 new police officers, which I'm very excited about. Officer Laura Galvett and Officer Miguel Pittman. Both of them started on the evening shift. We'll be shifting some of our personnel around to adequately address some of the issues going on in Fairhaven in the later evening hours. For the month of June, I saw an increase in robberies from up to 6 for the month, which is low overall for my tenure as a district manager in Fairhaven, but still an increase from the previous months. I attribute that to one of the incidents was a woman who had a dispute with another woman, and because she took something from her by force, it's coded as a robbery, so it doesn't go by It's not a typical street robbery. It was two people who knew each other and had a dispute because there was force used. It's coded as a robbery for us. And then there are 3 other incidents, including a stabbing that an individual that is very well known to the police department, Gilberto Rosario. I know you've heard me mention, I generally don't mention people's names. There are 2 people who generally are an issue when they get out of prison. Elliot Guzman is one of them. He is currently incarcerated. He is one of our serial burglars in Fairhaven. You'll see our stats go up when he is out. Likewise for Gilberto Rosario. Mr. Rosario is generally out in the area of Ferry and Saltonstall. We currently are crafting a warrant for him for a stabbing, and then he's a person of interest in 2 other street robberies that occurred that were drug related. So hopefully we can take him into custody pretty soon, and that will end that trend of the increase in robberies. I just want to talk about a great job that officers did that with one of the individuals who frequents the area of Grand and Atwater. We're still ticketing the individuals out there. We're giving them tickets for loitering in a drug zone, trespassing. We've worked with some of the owners there. We're working with court to try to figure out what we can do to try to fix some of these issues that are going on there. I've talked to the federal government. I've talked to the state government. We're trying to figure out what we can do with some of the new laws and guidelines that we have, how we can manage that while still addressing some of the quality of life issues we have going on. Officers attempted to do a motor vehicle stop on an individual, Daryl Belton Jr. If you remember the name Daryl Belton Sr., he's the individual who pistol whipped someone in the Grand Cafe parking lot. During that incident, he fired a round in the Grand Cafe parking lot. Officers from the shooting task force were able to identify him and charge him criminally. He's been incarcerated for a couple of years now. His son, Daryl Belton Jr., is one of the individuals who's been selling marijuana and other narcotics in the area of Grand and Atwater. Officers attempted to do a motor vehicle stop on a car in the area of the Mill River Crossing right by the Meat King on Grand Avenue. The vehicle initially pulled over. Officers Rodriguez and Rivera approached the vehicle. The vehicle took off. The officers did not pursue the vehicle. The vehicle got into a motor vehicle accident at the intersection of Grand and Olive. That's where the story begins. Mr. Belton left a loaded firearm with an extended magazine in the vehicle with his 6-year-old child, his 9-year-old child, and 2 other minors. He then fled from the scene. And officers were able to apprehend him and take him into custody. That was earlier on in the month of June. I believe it was June 5th. It created quite a scene at right in front of the fire headquarters there. But luckily, Mr. Belton was apprehended, and he is still currently incarcerated with a host of charges related to endangerment of children, on top of carrying an illegal firearm and narcotics. And so that was a great job by officers Rodriguez and Rivera. They've been getting held a lot because our staffing is a challenge. And so even though they're getting held over, even though they're getting forced to work overnights against their will, they're missing family events, they're still out here pulling over cars and trying to address some of the issues that we have going on in Fairhaven. Lastly, in the month of June, we had a 193% year-to-date increase in motor vehicle stops in the district. And so even with our reduced staffing, officers are still conducting motor vehicle stops when it is feasible, and we're still trying to get the job done the best we can with what we have. I see that Mr. Silvestri, Traffic and Parking reached out to me for that issue as well, and so we will gladly address that soon, sir. It looks like Ms. Coe, you had a question?
Yeah, hi, Lieutenant. Quick question, which is a couple of weeks ago, a body was pulled out of the Quinnipiac by the Waukoma Yacht Club. And I was just wondering if there's any follow-up on that. It was in the news for a couple of days and then disappeared.
Yes, I'm not sure if we were able to contact next of kin. I don't remember seeing a press release on that. I know who the person is. There was nothing suspicious about it. Okay. But I can check and see if I can release that information. I just have to check and see if we were able. I'm pretty sure we were able to contact next of kin, but let me just make sure first, and then I'll gladly report back to you.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. It looks like Patricia has your hand up.
Hey, Lieutenant, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. How are you?
I'm good. I'm sorry. I'm just coming in from swimming with the kids and I look a hot mess. So I'm not going to even show you myself. But anyway, quick question. Don't know if you can answer it. Do you know why the police department are no longer escorting the street sweepers and giving out the $100 ticket and towing their cars like indicated in the statement given in the mayor's office?
I don't know.
Okay, not a problem.
Yeah, I could speculate, but that would be just speculation. So
yeah, that's okay. I'm just curious if you know.
I honestly wasn't even aware of that. So thank you.
Okay.
Are there any questions here in the room? Gina?
I don't have a question, but one member last month donated a club. And we left it at the library. So there's a club for someone who needs it. If it's still at the library.
Oh, great. So if I have someone in Fairhaven reach out to me looking for a club, I will gladly refer them to the library rather than making them go down to 1 Union Avenue. Is that if leaving it at the library makes sense? Is it still there?
It should, hopefully it's still there. I gave it to Kirk at the last meeting.
Is Kirk there now or no?
Yeah.
We'll find out.
Great.
Are there any other questions or comments in the room? Yes, ma'am.
Since the weather has gotten warmer and then the day is longer, there's been a real uptick in ATVs and motorcycles going really fast down Lombard, people doing wheelies, lots of cars that are extremely noisy, revving up their engines, going really fast. As a matter of fact, one dog in the neighborhood was killed by someone who hit the dog and didn't stop. But we were supposed to get speed humps, but since we don't, is there anything we can do, or is there any way to kind of, some of this stuff is even like 2 o'clock in the morning, I'm waked up, so.
Yeah, so there's a couple of things that we're doing to address that. We have a new drone unit, which is fantastic. It allows us to safely follow these large groups of dirt bikers and quads, and then utilize some of our plainclothes officers and officers that are in unmarked vehicles to jump out safely and apprehend individuals. So we do that a few times during the week. Obviously, we don't really publicize when we're going to be doing that so that we can kind of catch people by surprise. So we are doing that consistently. Also, we have the motorcycle unit has been able to supplement our lack of staffing or our reduced staffing to conduct motor vehicle enforcement in areas where we see these issues. And so you should have seen them out the last 2 weeks, generally in the area of Ferry and Lombard and also in the area of Pine and Atwater. So wherever I get complaints, we kind of shift our resources around, whether patrol officers do it on their own or we have the motorcycles come in and also assist with that. A third thing that we're doing for the late night hours is we are adding 10 new officers to the evening, that swing shift, as we call it, from our standard shifts are a day shift, an evening shift, and an overnight shift. What we do from time to time historically is we'll shift some officers to cover that generally pretty busy 7 p.m. to 3 a.m. window. And so we start that in 3 days. And so this weekend, there'll be officers working that swing shift, which allows us for more resources on the street to address some of those issues at 1 o'clock in the morning and 2 o'clock in the morning.
Thank you.
I've seen online Mark Oliver via Zoom.
Excuse me.
Yes, Lieutenant, I have a question. Can you hear me? I'm in a room with an air conditioner.
Yes, Mr. Oliver, it sounds fantastic.
Okay, my question is kind of simple. I know this isn't high on a priority list, but what can we do about neighbors who choose to have parties very late and won't turn their music down after 10 o'clock?
So there's a couple of things that we can do, obviously, so that I don't want to say it's a low priority. It's coded as a low priority, though it may be a high priority for you. And if you have to wake up early in the morning, it is probably the highest priority thing that you have going on. And so what I would recommend is calling it into the non-emergency number. I know that it is frustrating at times. I know that officers might not show up or they might not be dispatched until hours later. But it's important as a district, even though the communications division might not be the most efficient way to get, it is a very efficient way in an emergency. Outside of an emergency, we need to categorize those calls, and those calls need to come in. And so if nobody calls for these issues, when I go downtown and ask for resources, they'll say, well, geez, like there's not even a lot of calls for service. Why do we need to put more resources into Fairhaven? And so the goal there would be, one, call it into our communications division, explaining if you know the address. Also, what happens is what we can do afterwards is we can take a look at taking enforcement after. The day after, I can go and we can issue a summons to the person, we can issue them an infraction. And so we did that after the 4th of July. There were a couple of different incidents that we investigated afterwards. And so we can certainly do that. So just because we don't have the resources at the time to turn the party down, we may be able to shut it down at that night. If we're not able to, we can still take some enforcement action on the property owner and whoever hosted the party the following day or the coming days after that. And so any information you have afterwards, if you have a party, one, call it in. Two, if you want to shoot me a text or an email just for the information that's going on, I'll have officers follow up with it afterwards. And hopefully we can get some sort of resolution. Same exact thing if you have party places that are the regulars. I know there's a location on Blatchley that every year has a couple of different parties that we've been paying attention to. And there's a couple of other party houses around that frequently host parties. If you have houses like that, let me know and I'll gladly pay the owners a visit. I'll have officers pay attention to the area even when they're not having parties.
Can I just add just to support that? This is Geraldine Casella. You remember me, Mike. I organized a group at my condo because we had neighbors on Peck Street were blasting music all times of day. And so far they've been quiet for like a month, knock on wood. So I haven't had to call. But what we did is exactly what he said. We called downtown, get your neighbors to call downtown, because if they get sick of hearing from us, I've seen the police go there and eventually they arrested them. Mike can speak to that. Because they continue to do it. But if you consistently call downtown, the police will intervene and you can stop all that noise because it's very annoying. So that's my spiel.
Thank you, Naomi. One last question before moving on with the agenda. Go ahead, ma'am.
This is a curiosity question. You've mentioned a couple of times that you have inadequate staff. What happened? I thought that you graduated a class from the academy.
People retire.
Yes, generally speaking, we have I'm not sure on our exact numbers, but we are as low as we've been at the lowest that we've been in the last couple of years is right now. And we are consistently trying to hire officers. But honestly, I'll be very frank with everyone, our starting salary, if you go to policeapp.com, I was looking the other day, not because I was looking for other jobs, but if you go and you look, you can see all of the other jurisdictions that are hiring. And if I was a young person interested in becoming a police officer, and I just simply was going based on a starting salary, the New Haven Police Department starts at $50,000. The Yale Police Department starts at $95,000. Waterbury, there's other, so that's not news, but say that we don't necessarily have a competitive salary where that's concerned, and just simply where young people are concerned and people with families and looking to try to make some money, and they don't necessarily have the city of New Haven in their heart. They're just looking to try to make some money and not have to be as stressed as some of our officers are here. And so I think we are consistently hiring. We hire 20 people here, 30 people there. We're sending people to satellite police academies. So we have a consistent rotation of people, but I think we're a little bit behind the ball. And so even though as we continue to hire more people, people retire, people leave to go to other jurisdictions, and so we're constantly in that flux of dealing with that. It's a nationwide issue in a lot of the major cities, even in Connecticut. Bridgeport and Hartford also have the issues. Personally, a police contract would be wonderful. If the city would settle for a police contract, that would help us to get some officers to stay. But so yeah, that's kind of what we're dealing with. In the meantime, though, we're supplementing that with a lot of our technology. And so the increase in the license plate readers, our cameras, our Star Chase technology, our stop stick technology, we've been able to apprehend people doing violence around the city much more efficiently than if we had 50 more cops. And so I still would like 50 more cops, but the officers that are out there are doing a pretty good job with the tools that we have right now.
Well, thank you very much for what you're doing.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Lieutenant. And just to remind everyone, Lieutenant's from the audience contact information is on the agenda, his cell phone number and the non-emergency number for the New Haven Police Department. Thank you so much for all you do for our community and city. Yes.
Kurt's club is still upstairs.
Okay, and the club is still upstairs in case anyone needs one.
And we also have quorum. So if you want to approve last month's meeting minutes, you can.
Thank you. Yeah, I'll get that on that right now. So just to make sure there is nothing that needed to be changed, updated on last month's meeting, so we can approve those meeting minutes. So I don't see anything here in. No one's raising their hand. It's only anyone online. But
Yeah, I see no people online saying anything. So
perfect. Thank you. So we'll get those approved. Thank you so much, Adam, for circling back to that. Up next, we have Carmen Mendez with the Livable City Initiative. She usually joins us online. I see her here on Zoom. Go ahead, Carmen. Good evening.
Carmen, your mic's still broken. Yeah, you still got the broken mic, Carmen. The New Haven IT department. They need to be on the call.
All right, so we'll come back to in just a few moments. So moving forward, just wanted to give a reminder about the quarterly presentation by from the Civilian Review Board. Jaywan Carter does that on their behalf. I'm not.
He's here this evening.
He's here. He's here. Okay. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Awesome. Yes, I would like to give my presentation and talk about the updates that the CRB has made. One particular update and major update, we were able to actually hire our consultant. And this particular role is the person who's going to be responsible of making sure our minutes are now put up to onto the website. I know that the last time I presented, there was a couple of questions about those minutes. Now you are able to go online to be able to actually see the minutes of our actual monthly meetings. Now, what the consultant is doing now is they're working on getting the minutes for some of our subcommittees. And there's a bit of a conversation going on what that process would look like because some of the minutes were not actually completed up to par. There's a level of, I'll say, there's a level of standard, and the way the minutes were recorded in some of these subcommittees, they were kind of very not detailed. So at this particular moment in time, our consultant actually has to go back and review some of these virtual tapes to actually make the minutes up to par. In addition, we are in the process of selecting a special attorney who will be by contract and on call in the sense of if we need additional support or professional resources to look at particular cases when things are just beyond our scope as volunteers or just people who are not actually in the law enforcement field. And hopefully we will be able to have a vote this upcoming month. Last month we didn't have quorum. In addition to that, the CMT, I'm at the CRB. We're in this process of those who are expired their terms. I am one of them. They are looking to fulfill those roles. I'm looking to rerun if possible. And if there's any questions, I'm willing to take any questions.
Hey, Jaywan, for people who don't know, because you're really presenting quarterly, can you just give us 15 seconds on what is the Civilian Review Board? What do you do?
Great. Yes. So the Civilian Review Board, it's made up of folks who are representing their CMTs across the district. And we are people who review certain cases or complaints that come in from the police department. Whether a person may have felt that there was police misconduct or not, we will investigate that way. We have the capacity to make recommendations to the chief on, I'll say, some form of discipline. And in addition to that, our role is to review the cases at the substation, and they're also currently working on making it virtual. But at the meantime, we review these cases and we meet once a month as a whole board, and then we meet maybe once or twice as a subcommittee, depending on what case we select. And we just have conversation based on what can we do to make the police and community as a more thriving community.
Thank you.
You have a question, Adam?
Yeah, you said that there's a couple slots coming off the review board. If people were interested, you said you're going to run again. Like, can there only be so many from Fairhaven? Like, would we have to run be against you, or could we get as many Fairhaveners as we want on the review board?
Put it like this: there's one per CMT. And I want to look at it as you're running against me. If you got the capacity, go for it. And what happens next is we make a recommendation letter to the chair, to the CMT leadership, and they would do a process of nominating. Most likely there will be an interview process probably with the CMT. And then there's also would be a recommendation which they will give to the mayor's office. And the mayor's office will conduct their investigation or interview process. And then it goes to the vote with the Board of Alders. And prior to that vote, there is a more of a hearing from that special committee as well. But that's the steps though. And regarding everyone, pretty much the entire board, we were expired for two. Some were expired over a year, some were expired for 2 years. And we're just now getting up to par with the city. It's more so the city response.
All right. Thank you so much, Jalen.
Yes. Any more questions?
Looks like that's nothing here in the room. I don't see anything else online. Do you, Adam?
No, but if we're gonna move, Carmen has connected with the phone.
Okay, great. Know that she has the phone. Thank you so much, Jalen.
Thanks for your
Thank you. Have a good evening, y'all.
You too. Okay, Carmen.
Carmen, if you're trying to talk, you have to hit *6 on your phone to unmute. There you go.
Okay, I just did that. And you can hear me now, right?
Perfect.
Okay, thank you so much. I'm so sorry, guys, that this happens. I've reported it several times to IT. I don't know why it keeps happening. Maybe my system is just not that great to begin with. So I will try to resolve it before our next meeting because I don't want you to hear Donald Duck across the audio. Anyway, so I don't remember where I left off the last meeting, but I think I did mention that I had done a run through of 104 properties in Fairhaven. Took me a month to do that run through with the cooperation of the Housing Code Enforcement Unit. We went house by house. We took stretches of blocks, and one of them was Clay Street. The other one was Wolcott. One was, there was some on James. Anyway, we did a house by house review as we walked down, and we sent out letters. Anyway, from that, I was able to put together a 14-page report of all that was done throughout that month of May and June. We are now in the process of actually verifying whether these people have received their letters of violations, and before we go re-inspect, because we have to do that. We have to review again what has happened, what has not happened, to determine where in the process they will fall. Ultimately, if there's no cooperation whatsoever, if there's no communication, ultimately through the housing code, we can issue a warrant for the arrest of the person, the owner. I hope none of these get to that point. We are aggressively seeking to speak to the property owners, and some will not talk to us, but will do the work. And some will talk to us and tell us that, this is the way life is in Fairhaven. We try to convince them that life doesn't have to be this way in Fairhaven, that the Fairhaven people are good, they're a good community, decent community, and they deserve a decent neighborhood. And sometimes that wins over. People understand that and hear that and work with us. My goal is always to communicate with the property owners and make sure that we have good open communication so that things can happen and can be good for Fairhaven in general. I think that's where I'm at right now. My report details the date of the inspection, the ward number, the address, the property owner's address, the housing issue that we're investigating, the action that was taken, the residential licenses, whether they have one or not, the number of units for each house, and of course the reinspection date and the outcome. And that I will be reporting to you within the next month or two, because I have to go through these 104 properties, recheck them, and do whatever needs to be done on the process.
All right. Thank you so much. Are there any questions or comments in the room for Ms. Mendez? Anyone here? Are there anything? Is there anything on
question was,
oh, sorry, Gina, go ahead.
does the community have access to your report?
No, this is strictly my worksheet that I use. It would not be fair to me. It wouldn't be fair, for example, to Caroline, if she felt, and not to pick on you, Caroline, but just as an example, to hand out her information, hand out her address, hand out her, what she was being called. It would not be appropriate. I would not put myself in that position because I could, be sued for something like that. So it's not available to the public. You have to trust in me that it is being done, and you have to trust in me that it will be handled appropriately. But to hand out a list of names and addresses and phone numbers is not okay.
Thank you. I did see a question or comment online, Ms. Patizia.
Yes, Carmen, I just want to make sure I understood you. Are you saying property owners are suggesting that people want to live with debris and all kinds of stuff in their yard and neighborhood?
Sometimes, we've met up with some tough property owners who are not from New Haven, who are from the outdoors and say, from outside of the area, who say, it's Fairhaven. What do you want? What do you need? This is the way they all live. I mean, we've had very few cases, but we've had that. And our response is always, well, ultimately we have the upper hand. We can either charge you $100 a day, or we'll have someone issue an arrest warrant for you. So basically they have no upper hand. The attitude has been in Fairhaven, on Fairhaven, has been that it's just not one of your best neighborhoods in the city of New Haven. That's what we're fighting against.
Okay.
And that's why I work so hard to deal with everything. Sure, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Good question here in the room. Go ahead, sir.
Hi, Paul Jacob. I live on Front Street. I have two questions. One is graffiti. I myself and a number of other people have put in C-Click Fix requests regarding graffiti, and there's seemed to have been a proliferation of graffiti, over the past 6 months or so, especially on Chapel Street, Ferry Street, the main thoroughfares. And every time we put them in, they go to LCI and then they got canceled. Any idea why they got canceled? That's my first question. My second question is, there's a lot of abandoned properties that are boarded up or not even boarded up. And there's people going in and out of those abandoned properties doing whatever. How do you track abandoned properties, and what do you do about abandoned properties? Say if there was a fire, and the owner collects the insurance money but never rebuilds. How can you track that? How can you deal with that?
Okay, so the first is I don't control the C-Click Fix. I have all the complaints. I have 20 complaints about graffiti in Fairhaven, 20 complaints, different spots in Fairhaven. Right now, I'm not working on that at this moment, but we'll be working on that. I have to issue letters. I have to go talk to them, and I have to do a lot of stuff. And I'm working on this other stuff right now. That's very important. But who is canceling them? I have no idea. It's certainly not me. I would never cancel a complaint at all, ever.
Oh, it goes to LCI. When it reaches LCI, then it's canceled. And then somebody told me, I tried calling City Hall, and somebody told me, "Oh, I think there's too many graffiti requests, so we don't address them at this point." So that's what I heard from City Hall. So
really, I don't know. I know graffiti is is a problem, very big problem citywide, but I have not heard that. I don't know. The best that I can do is once some of the steam comes off of me working with this report and these homeowners, is that I can go by and review these complaints, because I have a list of them, and do what I can with each of them. And it's not that it's less important. It's not that it's just that we're working on other things, and I'm only one person. And what was your other question? I'm sorry.
Oh, abandoned houses, or houses that are boarded up or not boarded up, but are abandoned, and the houses that have had a fire, and maybe the owner collected the insurance money but never bothered to rebuild it. I mean, how do you address those, and how do you track those?
Okay, so there's a couple of things that happen with a vacant house. I have a vacant house right now that I have talked to the owner maybe 4 or 5 times. I was very polite with him, very courteous, because that's how I approach it. The man said he was going to clean it out. The man said he was going to secure it. The man said all sorts of things. I finally I realized that I could not trust the man, could not trust what he was saying to me. And I decided to give him a notice of violation, and then quickly thereafter, a citation. He is now accumulating fines of $100 a day. He cannot get away from that. That's a lien. He cannot sell his property. It's a lien without paying us. If it gets to a certain point, we can consider foreclosing on that piece of property. I've never had a property that could go that far, but this might be the first test case. The other vacant buildings, we track down the owners. Some of these are in limbo. They're estates. And it's hard to get a hold of the trustees and get them to agree on what's happening. I'm working on actually one house is successful. The other house is a green and white house, the tall 3-family building on Ferry Street. That's been a very painful case, but we take each individual home, look at its condition, evaluate it, try to communicate with the owner if we can find one of record, and there usually is someone of record. I mean, there's no piece of land that isn't owned by somebody. And we attach fines, liens. We try to communicate. That's about all we can do. And if we can't communicate with them, we begin to slap liens on them until we basically own the place.
All right.
Can the building department go in and deem it structurally unsound, and can the city and put a lien again, and charge the owner for the demolition and carting?
We had a case like that. I don't remember what the upside was, but we had a case where there was a fire in a particular building. The owner was refusing to take it down. I think the city actually ended up taking it down and liening him. He still has control over the land, but we still have a lien on him. He can't go anywhere without paying the city of New Haven. So I've never had a property to go to that extent. So I don't know what to tell you, but we would foreclose on a property if it goes beyond a certain amount of time and no one's paying attention. And we certainly would at some point end up with it if we foreclosed on our lien.
Thank you very much, Carmen. In the interest of time, Ms. Mendez's email address and phone number are on the agenda. We're going to continue to move forward.
Can we get just a quick statement from Alder Herrera? Been waiting for a second to say something, but if you could keep it brief.
Sure.
If we have time.
Go ahead.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you for everybody who'll be there in this weather. I just want to make a comment about the report that Carmen is saying, and just to give you a little more information. This report that she's talking about, it cannot be shared with the community for obvious reasons, for safety and privacy for the community that are involved. Sarah Miller and myself, we are looking into that report, and we are working to be able to make priorities, not like someone is more important than others, but for the lack of people that we don't have too much hands in the streets, we are trying to make these decisions where it's a good and Fairhaven and whole. So, but I don't want anybody thinks that this report is just only for some people. We are looking at for everyone. And that is, but still, if any of you, please send us an email to Elder Miller and myself, and there is some concern that you think they cannot be wait. That is another way we can make priorities for LCI work together with us. That's it. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Elder Roman.
Yes. If I can just say one more thing, the process here that I had come up with in conjunction with the housing code inspectors is to make sure that by this time next year, almost all the houses in Fairhaven have been inspected. This is not something that everybody does, and certainly not 104 houses in 1 month. But it is aimed to address all the streets in in Fairhaven, to address all the housing issues, and I'm willing to work with anyone who has a particular area of concern. And that's it, I'm sorry.
Okay, thank you so much, thank you. All right, so moving forward with economic development update, usually that's with Ms. Polak, but I'm not seeing her on. Steve is on. Steve, oh, okay.
Madam Chair, good evening, and good evening, members of the Fairhaven Community Management Team. I am covering for Kathleen Krolek tonight, so I'm prepared to deliver her report. It's fairly brief, if I may. First is the city applied for a Connecticut Communities Challenge grant for Grand Avenue. It may be for the project that Malachi Bridges described last month. In any case, Carlos Izaguirre wanted everyone to know that when they had their question and answer session with DECD, the state entity giving out the grants, they had lots of questions for the city, which he interprets to mean that they are seriously considering the grant for the project. So I wanted to let you know that. He asked me to let you know, or to remind you, I'm guessing you already know this, but the Strong School redevelopment project goes to the Board of Zoning Appeals for parking and setback relief on July 11th. And that will be a Zoom meeting. So if you need or want a link, we can certainly make that available to you. Next, the Economic Development Administration will be assisting with the installation of a fence behind People's Laundromat, along with our partners LCI and the New Haven PD, to try to address some major quality of life issues in the parking lot. And LCI will also be doing some associated site work with that project. Next, the city's new Neighborhood Economic Opportunity Grant Program is live now and taking applications on the city website. If you go to the city purchasing page, I believe you'll find the link there under the bonfire system. But in any case, there will be a public information session tomorrow. And if people want that link, I can try to hunt it up for them and put it on the chat before the end of the meeting. And then finally, in case I didn't mention it last month, the city did secure an $800,000 grant from DECD to do brownfields cleanup at 112 Chapel Street. This is part of an expansion project that Art to Frames is doing down there. They're going to build a 10,000 square foot addition and hire some additional people. And as part of that, the city is going to clean up that site, 112 Chapel, and create a parking lot for that expansion project. So that's my report, Madam Chair. Thank you very much. If you have any questions or issues you'd like me to pursue, feel free to let me know. Happy to do so.
Thank you so much. Any questions for Mr. Fontana here in the room or online? All right. So far, I'm not seeing anything here in the room. Do you see anything online? I'm not seeing anything so far, Adam.
Seeing none, no.
All right, thank you so much for your report. Have a great. Thank you. All right, so moving forward with our vision in action under responsive, transparent government, economic community development. We don't have anything on the agenda this evening. Moving to our environment and immigration, we have Max Kirstein joining us online regarding the sustainability policy analyst and the sustainability policy analyst and engagement coordinator of the City of New Haven, Office of Climate and Sustainability. So let me get him on quickly. I believe I saw him here on Zoom.
Hi, everybody. Yeah, I'm here. Thank you so much for having me. I'm going to immediately turn it over to the amazing Dr. Young, who's here from Posigen, to tell you a little bit about a new initiative we're partnering with Posigen on called Solar for All. So Dr. Young, take it away.
Thank you.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for having Posigen here today to present the Solar for All program. We actually launched on May 4th, the Solar for All initiative with the City of New Haven. This campaign actually makes solar and renewable energy accessible to every homeowner in the state of Connecticut. We always say every homeowner qualifies. We just have to make sure that all the homes qualify. The program is a no money down, no credit score required. And what I do really just amazed me about the program is that we do not just do solar. We know that Connecticut really, historic communities, many of the homes, do need that extra layer of being enveloped. So the energy efficiency part is a fantastic, addition that we have to the Solar for All program. In a nutshell, because I know time is of the essence, solar has been around in Connecticut for since 2015. I actually am one of the first customers in the state of Connecticut that went through the Solar for All program, and it was definitely worked so well that I ended up, telling them, let me join their team because of how well it has worked. Many families now, we still see are under the impression that solar is not for everyone, especially if they've been turned down before because of credit or, whatever, not having down payment or anything like that. We do just want to say and send a message out that we're asking families to relook at the possibility of renewable energy because yes, it is for everyone. And there's this Solar for All program that we've just, New Haven actually was our 12th campaign town throughout the state of Connecticut to do the Solar for All. It's a 25-year lease. There's some specifics that, we'll get into at another time if someone is interested. But it's really a saving within the first year. On average, we're seeing about just under $1,000 per year in savings for those who decide to go solar to reduce their energy burdens. On August 3rd, we're looking forward to do a lunch and learn at City Hall. In fact, we're putting out the dates now as a tester to see, make sure we have an RSVP that's going to be soon, being publicized. If anyone is interested in attending, we'd love to have you as a lunch and learn session, just so we can talk more about the program and, the benefits of that. And also we're looking forward to having a table set up at the City Seeds Farmers Market. I'm not sure about the dates. We're still just kind of finalizing the dates, but all that information we'll let you know as well. So thanks for having me do the presentation. I will be putting my information in the chat line. And if any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dr. Young, for that information. And next, we'll be talking about the $1,500 e-bike discount program run by the state. Is that correct?
Yes, I will. And thank you, Chair, by the way, for getting through my full title. I know it's really a mouthful, but I did want to introduce myself to folks because part of my job is to engage people in the work that we're doing at the Office of Climate and Sustainability. If you haven't heard of our office, that's probably because we're relatively new. We just opened back in December. And our approach, even though our focus is climate and sustainability, what our approach is sort of guided by is the idea that we want to be creating and promoting initiatives and policy that help people today while also protecting our futures for a greener tomorrow. So that's why, you know, we're working with Posigen right now on this campaign. This is exactly the kind of thing that we're talking about, because not only will it lower your energy bill, but you'll also be helping to fight climate change in the process. Another way that you can do that is through the state's new electric e-bike incentive program. If you aren't familiar with e-bikes, they're traditional bicycles that have a motor attached that typically they kick in, that motor kicks in when you pedal, so it assists you so you can go faster. And we really want to make sure that people know that if they apply through this program, then they're eligible to receive a voucher for up to $1,500 off of the e-bike at the point of sale. And this is a really great option for folks who, you know, don't have, maybe have more drivers in their family than they have cars, or making lots of short haul trips around the city. You know, you can really save on gas if you're just riding an e-bike that plugs into the wall. Now, the one thing that I do want to note about the program before I drop the link in the chat is it only launched last Wednesday, and within 3 days, it was oversubscribed. So that's not to say that you shouldn't apply. You absolutely should. And that's because they're going to open up more phases of funding. And so you might still be eligible for an e-bike. So just throw in an application as soon as possible, and you could still get a voucher in this month. Otherwise, it'll come a little bit later. So I'll just drop a link in the chat, and I'll finish off there. Thank you so much for giving me your time.
Thank you so much. Have a great evening.
You too.
Did you have a question or comment?
Yeah, I had one for Dr. Young. I'm curious about the solar panels. I've kind of gotten, you know, just talked briefly with the people. There's like Fairhaven Day. They're selling the Posigen and whatnot. I'm curious if the solar panels are installed, who's responsible for the roof of the house at that point? And if my roof is like falling apart already and you say you're going to be responsible, like what goes on there? So what's that side of things?
That is a good question. So we also have a program that actually will have, we will do the roof, and it's called a Decotech program, where the roof, the panels could be a portion of the roof, or we could do the traditional program where we combine the roof and the panels in one. I think for your other, the initial question you asked, who's responsible for the roof? Actually, whatever we put on the roof, we are responsible. And we also have a guarantee that anything happens to the roof, we will be there to fix it. So that definitely is a part of the program that we do have.
All right, I was just thinking, yeah, like shingles, 25 years of a lease, whatever, 20, 25 years, that your shingles are gonna go bad before that lease ends, so.
And that is why it's so crucial for us to do the site assessment. So we do all of that. It's not just putting on the panels on a roof, because we have to make sure that that roof is in good condition for us to do that program. Otherwise, that person, that homeowner, would actually be looked at for another program where it's a replacement roof with the solar. And just in a nutshell too, I mean, there have been some reports how having the panels on the roof really does maintain the roof even longer because of, you know, the ice and water damage and everything. A lot of the panels will be getting the brunt of that and taking it away from the asphalt, from the shingles.
All right, thank you so much, Dr. Young. All right. So moving ahead with under health, housing and public safety, we have Mr. Eddie Cordova with Fairhaven Community Healthcare. He is the Latinx Outreach Coordinator, and he just wanted to introduce himself.
Fantastic. I was muted. Hi, everyone. So my name is Eddie Cordova. Hopefully you guys can hear me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Perfect. So I'm coming here today to basically present a new program that started last year at Fairhaven Community Healthcare. Fairhaven is always looking Fairhaven Community Healthcare is always looking to provide additional support and assistance to the community. And one of the ways that they found to do this is through a program with the Department of Mental Health and Addiction Services. I don't know if you guys can see my PowerPoint. It should be showing, hopefully.
Yes.
Perfect. So the program's name is the Latinx Outreach Program. It is through the Department of Mental Health and Addiction Services and Fairhaven Community Healthcare, the addiction medicine team. The reason why this program was started is basically because we saw that there was a really big population out there, as you can see here in 2021, 94% of people aged 12 and older who had substance use disorder did not receive treatment. A good portion of that was because they didn't know how to receive treatment or how to get help. So therefore, this position was born, which basically, my position, the program is the case coordinator, myself, would go out into the community and do some outreach just to explain what the program is about and what we're able to provide the person, as well as the type of services that they have at the center. So the goals for the program are to increase health services and other services utilization by the Latinx population in order to decrease barriers and challenges that people face to access substance use disorder treatment, mental health treatment, and other services. Basically, what we do is when we receive a referral, we contact the person, make sure that everything is okay to provide services. And then what we do is we sort of create a plan to see what that person needs, whether that's assistance with substance use or mental health treatment, or whatever it is that might be stopping them from getting that, we will provide help with. We do that through referrals, transportation if needed, outpatient support. Obviously, we follow up to make sure that everything is looking pretty okay. We coordinate this whole plan of action with the person, so it's patient-centered, and with the programs out in the community to make sure that they're meeting whatever that person's needs are. There are certain requirements to be part of the program. Primarily is the person must be of Latinx background or biracial, as well as the person needs to have a need for connections with substance use disorder treatment or mental health services. Once we establish both of those rules, pretty much we provide help with whatever it is that that person might need. So how do you get into the program? It's pretty simple. Again, you must be, of Latinx background, as well as have a need for substance use disorder treatment or mental health services. You would reach out to me or whatever. You would reach out to me or fill out one of the referral forms, to get put into the program. We then coordinate with the person the referral was made for, and sort of, again, come up with a plan to see what that person needs. The goals of the program is basically to work towards recovery with the patient. We connect the person with additional resources in the community. Again, if that person needs assistance with housing, we would connect them to the programs that assist with that, in order just to make it a little easier for the person to receive the treatment that they need in the community. So we talk to them in person and over the phone, so the person doesn't really have to come into the center for this type of program. We go to them and then see what's required at home. So referrals are made in order to connect the patient with services in the community. And then once that's done, we follow with the person. And with the services that we provided, just to make sure that there's nothing impeding them from getting the help that they need. Once that happens, we sort of, take a step back. We're there to provide the assistance and kind of the guidance to where they can get help. And then we kind of just step back. We still check in, but we call it the discharge from care. Once they're out of the program, it doesn't mean that they're cut off from the program. They can still contact us and let us know if they need any assistance. And then we'll come back and we'll pick them up. Nothing crazy. You don't need any insurance. It doesn't matter what your legal status is. It basically just has to be an adult. So in addition to that, because I work with the addiction medicine team here at the center, I also wanted to introduce our substance use care program that we have here, and it is fantastic. Dr. McDonough is the head of the addiction medicine team, and he is awesome. So if you have any questions, you can always contact him. So substance use disorder care in Fairhaven Community Healthcare takes the form of cognitive behavioral therapy, relapse prevention medicine, and behavioral services. This is some of the information that this is some of the services that we're providing under the addiction medicine team. We have 11 clinicians, 3 physicians who are board certified in addiction medicine. We have behavioral health. We have a whole behavioral health program as well. And we also have a full-time addiction care coordinator that works with the care coordination team. They do the same, but that service is more inpatient, so you have to be part of the actual center to receive that. This is some additional information and just some additional services that we offer with the center as well. We, as you know, we have a ton of different locations, which is fantastic because it makes it easier for everyone to receive assistance that they might need. At the actual centers, we have, again, behavioral health services, care coordination. We have dermatology, endocrinology, gastroenterology, optometry, the dental services, which is great. I used to go there for my dental needs as well. Adult and geriatric services, midwifery and prenatal care, as well as LGBTQ plus care, which is great because we do a lot of stuff. Now, I know I went through this really fast because I only have 5 minutes, but if anyone has any questions about the program, I am more than happy to answer.
Thank you so much, Eddie. Are there any questions here in the room? I don't see any questions here. Anything online?
Oh, I see that Maureen has a question.
Yep,
I think.
Maureen. Yep.
Yeah, thanks, Eddie. In your presentation, it struck me, although you're trying to make referrals for housing, every time I start to hear presentations about this, housing is one of the big barriers that you might be able to make a referral, but there's no housing hardly anywhere in New Haven that's affordable. So are you finding that as a barrier?
All right, so it's actually pretty funny. In my background, I used to actually work for the Housing Authority of New Haven. So I was there. If anyone knows about how difficult housing is, and then on top of that, also Medicaid as well, it's me. Right now, I think that overall, it takes around 2 years or so to actually be approved for like the Housing Authority. Section 8 is even harder than that, especially because there's a lot of people applying for it now, but also because they're also backed up from COVID as well. So what I tell people is, if you are even thinking about applying to it, you might as well just apply because it'll save you some time in the long run. But housing is very difficult. We can't really do much to speed it up. I do have contacts with, because again, one of my jobs is to do outreach. So I talk to a variety of programs. We are under Region 2, which is the region that my position oversees. And basically that goes from, I want to say, Milford all the way to Old Lyme. So it is a very big region. My office is located in 374 Grand Avenue, but we oversee all of that. And housing is going to be a problem no matter where you go, because that's just, it's a program through HUD. So if someone's thinking about applying, I would say just apply, just, to make sure that you are possibly contacted when you are. The other thing that we do is we work with we work with shelters in the community, and we get referrals from them as well. And we're able to connect those people with the shelters. Now, of course, what happens is even if you're taken to a shelter, you still have to go through the process, which it always starts with calling 211. And that is also difficult because that will take around 2 hours or so to get an answer. But that's also part of my job. I speak Spanish and English. So for our patients or clients, I provide translation services. So I think the program is pretty amazing. I don't want to say that just because I'm part of the program, but it's also because, you know, Fairhaven Community Healthcare had to apply to get it. So they went through the whole process of actually applying, which is, you know, that's also a whole thing on its own. But I guess that's just how much Fairhaven Community Healthcare cares.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, I appreciate knowing that. I didn't realize that it was a competitive kind of application.
Oh yeah, no, there's 5 regions, and Fairhaven went out there and actually got approved to be for one of those regions. So I think that's, you know, not for nothing, but Cornell doesn't have one. So I think it's pretty awesome.
So subtle. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Eddie. We really do appreciate your presentation, and we look forward to having you in our community. Thank you.
Awesome. Yeah, I will put my contact information on the chat. So if anyone has any questions or has any referrals that they want to send out or just pass my information along, I'd be more than happy to go see anyone that's being sent my way. So that's why I'm here.
Thank you so much for that. All right, so moving forward, we have Graciela Reyes with the Yale Program for Recovery and Community Health, and I'm going to get you pinned up here right now. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me here. I also will share screen.
Okay.
So I'm here today to present the Imani program for you, and thank you for having me here. So Imani Breakthrough, it's a program developed, created for, and in collaboration with Black and Brown community, Latinos, and Black community. Imani, it's a cultural and faith-based recovery initiative for Black and Latinx community in response to our current opioid crisis. So I will just go really fast here because I just have 5 minutes, but Imani means faith in Swahili. And what we are doing in our program is to promote health and healing for ourselves and our community. And the way that we have been doing that is through a participatory process. In that process, we create a sense of unity, we create a sense of collective responsibility. So, and that's why I'm here to invite you to join that program and work together with us at Forge to build in a community that everybody feels that belong. So I will not go through the data because we just have a presentation about the opioid crisis here in Connecticut, but I want to emphasize that Latinos and Black has been dying more from overdoses than white community. And it is really time to raise this concern with all of us, because as Black people with substance use and mental health disorders or illness has been dying 15, 25 years older than the rest of society. So the program has a specific target, it's Black and Brown community. And the reason that we have that target population, it's because racial and ethnic minorities in the United States are less like than whites to seek mental health treatment, including drugs and alcohol. Black and Latinx people, compared to the other racial groups, are less likely to start drug and alcohol treatment, and we know all the barriers that involve in that. If they start, they don't really like the care they have received, lower treatment engagement. We have been seeing so many studies to point that in programs to change the ways they reach out to people and really work in the ways that that community feel welcome. And this is why and where Black and Latino churches are very helpful. So again, Imani, it's a faith-based recovery program. So in that program, we are trying to address all the health disparities. So sometimes people think like, oh, these people is doing drugs. So, but behind that label, so there is so many important issues that you must address. And our community conversation, when we started 7 years ago, we really meet with the people at the community where they are, and we work with them, we ask a couple of questions, and they come out to us that religion and spirituality is extremely important for the Latinx community. In that sense, the data shows to us that 65 and 80% of Black and 75% of Latinx church goes to the church, and many studies have been highlighting the importance of the church here in the United States to provide health and care for the community. So our program is culturally informed. We offer harm reduction and excellent distribution. We address the social determinants of health, and we ensure harm reduction. We enforce the importance of mutual support. We offer intensive wrap-around coaching one-on-one for our participants. And the Imani philosophy, it's really based on intentional peer support, trauma-informed care, recovery, and harm reduction. And we are here to work with them on the program with the two framework that you choose, that you call the citizenship in 5 R's, and also the 8 dimensions of wellness to build the sense of belong. So the program is about 22 weeks. On the first 12 weeks, the participants will meet with the facilitators, and the facilitators are people who have lived experience in substance use, as well family members or faith-based leaders. And they will go through 12 weeks work in the 8 dimensions of wellness, because you will learn during this last 7 years you have that program, that if you want to address substance use, you need to address people day by day life. So that's why you brought the 8 dimensions of wellness, where we talk about spirituality, health, financial health, the environment, the occupational, education, everything, and how this is related to create the sense of belong for them. We have been collaborating with the church. In New Haven, we are at Veric and Casa de Oração and Adoração, and we are going to start a program at the Casa de Oração and Adoração in 2 weeks. It is important to show to the program has shown it is effective. People like to enjoy the program. We have since 2018 to now, more than 150 people that finalized this program with us. So our population are those who are very much in need. So as you can see here in that data that I'm presenting to you, and when you measure and we see the people when they start the program for the baseline interview to the end, you can see a great change on all the 8 dimensions of wellness, and also in the all sense of the citizenship measures, when you measure so personal responsibility and all that choices and everything. So I think it is very important. I will stop this share here. So the program offers telehealth, and the participants, when start the program, they go through a conversation with our doctors. The doctors speak Spanish and English. Our facilitators are bilingual. We present the program, we present the options that we are offering, we present our facilitators, and participants can make a choice to come to our program and have the treatment at the church where you offer telehealth, or be in treatment at the community and then you do the referrals, or just to join the recovery support program itself. For those who want to have treatment with us, we offer also the medication. By week 3, they will meet with the doctors. They have conversation about needs, because if you want to offer substance use treatment, there is a lot of questions that you need to address, and your doctors will be there to answer these questions. And then we'll help the participants to decide what will be the best treatment for them. So at week 4, they start to have one-on-one coach who work with participants and facilitators and help them to develop 1 or 2 or 3 SMART goals, and you help them using the coaching strategy to get what they're looking and they need. So we are recruiting right now. We are open for new participants. There is no, does not matter for us if they're citizen or not. So the program is for all Latinx communities. There is no records on people when they are in the program with us. We saw that is a big barrier. They don't want to keep that information, their health records. We're not doing that. What we want to do is to really offer the recovery support program for those who are in need and they don't know how to do it. So Pastor Hector at the church Casa de Oración y Adoración, it's our partner. We have been working with that church for about 4 or 5 years. The program, it's not about religion, but it's recovery. Spirituality is a pathway for recovery, and that's what you're doing and offering for the community at the youth. We offer the participants a light dinner. We pay them $10 to come if they need transportation. And we give to them a certification at the end of the completion of the program. And also we have been accessing help with housings and other needs they may have. For the Latinx community, that is more than that. English is second language, how to apply to become citizen, or sometimes the social security, or sometimes just to have this space on the field that culture represent you and you represent your culture. So thank you for, very fast. So thank you for the opportunity to present here, and I hope to partner with all of you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Rice. Thank you, thank you. And moving on to arts, culture, and library. Oh, Ms. Dean, you had a question.
Yep, I just want to ask 2 really quick questions, and I may have missed part of the first one. At the tail end, you said there are no health records for folks because folks have, and it's true, I worked in behavioral health, people have expressed some anxiety about things being documented and someone else can get their hands on those documents, and what if they find out I was struggling? You don't keep any documentation? So how do you?
We don't share documentation. We don't share information. This information stay with us.
Yeah, okay. And the program is completely free because you don't bill insurance?
Completely free. Great. Program is completely free.
Great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much for all the information. And moving forward to arts, culture, and library, Perez Arts. Be online. I'm hopeful that they're there to discuss the feedback for an input for a mural that they want to work on.
I think maybe they were here earlier, but I don't see.
All right, thank you so much, Adam. So we'll just move on to Kirk with his updates with the library.
Everyone, the first topic I wanted to bring up, I'm hoping you guys will get a chance to get a presentation from them next month, but we are hoping to partner with VITA, which I believe stands for Volunteer Income Tax Assistance, but it's a it's a program around the state that allows volunteers to prepare for free folks' tax returns. There have been some other locations in New Haven, other library locations that have started to offer this service at their locations, and we're hoping to have it here in Fairhaven. Pre-pandemic, there were a number of places that offered free tax preparation in our neighborhood, but now there are just about none. And we wanted to make sure that that was something that folks had in this part of the city too. But as you probably picked up, it's a volunteer run program. And to be able to get, to identify volunteers and get them trained so that they are in position to start helping folks with those tax returns, we need to recruit volunteers. So if you or anyone you know would possibly be interested in this, please let me know. But in the meantime, we're hoping to have the folks from VITA do a presentation here next month. But I at least wanted to start that, beating that drum that they're looking for volunteers so that we will be able to host it here at the library. Otherwise, summer moves on here at the library. If you have kids that would like to take part in our summer reading program, have them come in, sign up. They'll get a fun little booklet to track their reading. If they make it through X number of hours, they are eligible for prizes. We'll also have more programs go on as the summer goes on. And I'm also wanting to highlight one returning program here, which will begin on Tuesday, the 18th. Common Grounds Mobile Farmers Market returns for their 4th year here. We host it on our lawn. The only thing that's changing this year is the team it's better for their schedule to come on Tuesdays instead of the Wednesdays that it normally took place. So I just wanted to get that message out there that that when it starts, it will be on Tuesday, not Wednesday, but it will be going on each week from 3 to 5 right on our lawn. You can't miss it from Grand Ave. And as some of you may know, not only is this a farmer's market where you can get excellent fresh produce right here in the neighborhood, but many of the folks who use the market take advantage of food benefit programs and farmers market coupons. So if you are eligible for any of those programs, this is a great place to stretch those dollars here. But they take cash and cards too, so everyone's welcome. Like I said, it'll be going on weekly. It's very popular, so make sure you don't show up with 10 minutes to go because they might be done by then. That's the best tip I can give you. But Common Ground Mobile Market starts on Tuesday, July 18th. Hope to see you guys all soon. And there was a question earlier about whether we had the anti-theft club. We do have one upstairs. It's still the one that I think you guys gave us last time is still there. That's it. That's all from me.
Thank you so much, Kirk. Have a great night. All right. So, quick announcement: on July 20th, there's going to be the mayoral town hall in Fairhaven, July 20th. And are there any bylaws updates today, Adam, or is that going to carry on to next month?
No, I have unfortunately been quite busy as of late, and I haven't been able to get that scheduled. But that's not like top of my priority. So hopefully we can get that in. We don't have much to do. We got most of it approved. We just had a few small adjustments to make. So hopefully very soon.
Sure. Maureen, did you have a quick question or comment? I see you online there.
Yes, I saw in the email that the next Thursday, I think it is, there will be an update on the Quinnipiac River, Friends of Quinnipiac River, all the projects going on, but it didn't say where that was going to be held. Will that be outside along the river banks or?
Yes, it's where the group meets at the park.
Okay.
Usually around the intersection of Front with Exchange. But
Okay.
people
Good.
at the park.
All right, thank you, Lee. And moving on to the last item, the Alder reports. I know there was a meeting, so that's probably why they're not here, either online or in person.
Alder Herrera is here.
Oh, okay. I'll get to her in just a second. Thank you so much. And Alder Ellen Kubo, I don't see her here in person nor online, but again, it might be because of that meeting. We didn't receive any updates from her through email, but I do know, as I said, Alder Herrera is here online. Did you have any updates for us today?
Alder Herrera?
Well, maybe we'll come back to her. I know with Alder on the FESTA, we haven't received anything through email with any updates. We do have updates for Alder Sarah Miller. Lee is here to provide those quickly.
Okay, there is a meeting this evening. They're talking about the city charter, and that's why a lot of the alders aren't present. So Sarah submitted her report, and she wanted people to know that Quinnipiac River Park has received a state bonding commission award of $250,000 that'll be used to fix up the park. A lot of the meeting next Thursday at the park will be about that. She also wanted you to know that she is running for re-election. So more about that for those of us who live on Ward 14. The mayoral candidates forum has already been mentioned. Strong school development is on track. She also wanted to encourage you to take the Resilient Fairhaven survey, which is linked in the minutes of the management team meeting. You'll see over the next few months and next few years, Grand Avenue improvements, Ferry Street underpass. That's the mural that the young man, Carlos Perez, apparently he left, but he and Wanda Vargas have received the funding to create a mural at the intersection of Ferry Street with Middletown Avenue, where the road kind of curves there by the bridge over to State Street. And on July 16th, there will be a community painting day. So if you like to paint, if you like to work with muralists, go on July 16th to work with Paris City. And then, as I mentioned, the charter revision meetings are happening tonight. And there are many opportunities that are listed here for youth, summer meals, etc. And most of these will be in the minutes of the meeting. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Lee. We have not received anything from Alders Ernie Santiago nor Jose Crespo as far as any kind of updates or announcements. I'm not sure if Alder Herrera is still on. Wanda, I see your hand up online.
Oh, yes, sorry. I just wanted to share that we do have a sign-up sheet for the community paint thing next weekend because they are on time slots. So it's from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m., but the time slots are 11 a.m. to 12, 12 to 1, 1 to 2. I just dropped the link into the chat for our sign-up sheet.
Thank you so much. I did see that there in the chat. Thank you very much, Wanda, for that.
No problem. Thank you.
All right, and Alder Herrera, I'm not sure if she's still on. She's okay. So please encourage the elders to either send us any updates, announcements, or to come in person or join us via Zoom on our monthly meetings. And moving forward with adjournment and any questions about the recent agenda or recommendations for future agenda items or any further announcements. So, all right, I think we're good. So I'd just like to officially call the meeting to conclusion. Adjournment. Thank you.
So moved.
So
Seconded. Get out of here.
thank you so much. Have a great evening, everyone. See you next month.
All right. Thank you everyone for sticking around, and we'll see you next month.
Adam.
Yes, let me stop this recording.